everybody, it's Barbie. I'm from Patriot Information Hotline, and I'm here with a nice gentleman. His name is Fernando, and he lives down here by the border, and we're going to ask him a couple of questions. How do you like living down here?
Oh, I love it. I mean, I wouldn't live anywhere else. This is my home.
And what exactly is going on down here?
Well, we have the situation where they built a wall right at the end of our street here, and that's not keeping anything out. In fact, when that gate isn't closed and it stays open day and night, it's not doing any keeping people out from this area. I mean, it's a very popular area for them to cross. For some reason, that gate remains open all the time, even when it's unattended. And we do have an influx of people that go through here. And the problem that we have is that while they're trying to hide in the area, they end up a lot of times tearing down our fences, trying to hide in our barns. I've had two of them already try to make entry into my home while we were still asleep inside. And I mean, other incidents that we've had down here, but I mean, that's what we have to deal with on a daily basis, which a lot of people don't know, because unless they're actually here, living down here day in and day out, they don't hear about this. Because, you know, the media doesn't.
How good is the response time when somebody breaks into your house and if you call for help?
Well, this area particularly falls under county, so the responders out here would have to be the sheriff's department. Most of the time, for this whole section out here, there might be only one unit or two, and that's for the whole county. And so by the time they get out here, when we call sheriff's department, 30, 45 minutes sometimes go by. Right. Now, unless they're in the area, there's been times where we call them and they happen to be nearby, they'll show up within 10, 15 minutes.
So it takes them 45 minutes sometimes. I'm going to change my camera around here, make it a little easier. What is the #1 concern with that fence? Is it because it's not locked, or because even if it is locked, can they climb over it?
Oh yeah, they'll climb over the fence, and if you go down the fence, you'll see certain points where you can see the imprints of their shoes going over the top.
I was looking at it while I was down there. It looks like the top has what they call caps on the top. Right. Would they be able, do you think, to take those caps off and maybe put like a razor wire up there?
I'm not sure if those caps are welded on or not, but I know that they cross that fence fairly easy. I mean, especially since it's all rusted out, that gives them a better grip on it. So.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And they don't even have to climb over it. That gate remains open most of the time.
So, if we could get them to close the gate, they could still climb over.
They could still climb over.
If we put a razor wire on top, what do you think they would do with a razor wire? Or if we electrified the fence?
Well, they'd probably find another way in, or further down or further up. But I mean, a fence isn't going to keep people out if the laws that are already in place aren't enforced. From that fence to the river, it's a little over a mile. Why do they have to wait till they get to that fence to stop them? They can stop them a mile away. By the time they hit that fence, they're gone. They're already in.
And what do you think is the reason that they're coming in? Just your opinion.
Well, it used to be years ago they were coming in to find a better life, get some work. You could see the kind of people coming through. You could tell that they were people wanting to work and provide for their families. The kind of people we're having now, they're not coming to work. These people coming through are full-grown men, all tattooed. I mean, they come, as soon as they hit our neighborhood, they start destroying our stuff, so they're not here for any good.
Well, let me ask you a question. We were having a debate the other night. Are the tattoos possibly henna tattoos that, you know, they stay on for a couple weeks? Or do you think they're real tattoos?
Well, most of the people that I've seen, that I've encountered, those are real tattoos. And a lot of them, the more popular ones are, you know, guys that are associated with certain gangs over there, and also that are coming over now and forming their little groups over here too. But I mean, this is something that we have to deal with on a daily basis. And when the people upstate, the politicians, keep saying that nothing like that is going on, I'll invite them to my home. Come spend a week with me. You'll see what's going on.
Let me ask you another question. One of the major controversies is the children. How long have you lived here?
5 years.
How many children have you seen?
None.
None?
None. We've had groups of up to 50 at one time come through here, through our neighborhood. No children. It's all grown men or fully grown women.
And right now, like for the last 2 months, if you had to rate it in a 100% scale, what would the percentage be of actual Mexicans?
Actual Mexicans, well, the thing is, right now, supposedly, we don't know if they're just from Mexico because they have that label now that they say OTM, other than Mexican. A lot of them get labeled that. So I, for one, don't know where they're coming from. All I know is that they're coming, from the south. But as far as whether they're just from Mexico or from further in, I got no way of knowing. But a lot of these people, I mean, to me, it would seem that they're Mexican. They're speaking Spanish, and the regular Spanish that you hear along the border. The ones from further in usually have a different type of Spanish, and you can tell sometimes. But when these groups coming through, I mean, to me, they're just coming in for another. They got another agenda.
I used to be married to a man from Puerto Rico. I understand totally about the different dialects of Spanish. Have you seen anyone from like an Asian country?
No, not the group that we've had here. I mean, there's been stories of people other
than Mexicans,
that have come through. While I was working in one of my jobs here, back about in 2012, we had an incident where we did hear, but it doesn't get publicized because the agents will round these people up fairly quickly. But there have been groups of Muslim-based people that crossed through here. I mean, it's been a known fact that they've been in Matamoros for a while, but once in a while there have been some. These people get rounded up real quick, and they get shipped out wherever it is that they send them. They don't even spend, 2 days down here. They ship them out right away.
Well, let me ask you another question about something we were talking about. With Border Patrol and ICE and DPS, do you know what their standing orders are as far as aiming their weapons and shooting their weapons? Have you heard any rumors?
Well,
and you can say I don't want to answer that if you don't want to.
Yeah, no. I'm based on what I have found out, and the people that the sources that I found out from are sources that are there, day in and day out doing their job. But I'm a retired firefighter. I know that when you take an oath to your department and you got to uphold what they tell you, your bosses are going to tell you what to do. Even if you think that the order is wrong, you still have to comply or lose your job. So I understand these people, this person's, but their standing orders right now, based on what I have gathered and have found out from them, is that they're not to even draw their weapons on these people. If they can, just simply they're supposed to continue on their way, move out, leave them alone. And to me, that puts my family in danger because that gate is right at the end of my street. If they leave them alone, let them continue on their business, they're going to end up in my property.
How many children do you have in this neighborhood?
Oh, we've got a lot of children in this neighborhood. Every ranch here, from where I'm at to the end of the street, has children in their homes. I have 3 of them myself.
Have you had any incidences of animals being killed or anything? Because that was one of the rumors going through the mainstream media.
We've lost animals. We most of the time blame it on disease or what have you, but when they're trying to hide in those stables and the animals start making noise, I mean, we didn't actually see anybody do it, but you gather conclusions, and when you see damaged stable doors, torn fences that we have to be fixing ourselves, I mean, the wild animals that we have around here aren't going to be able to do that. So
if you had the opportunity to talk to at least 1 million people, what would you tell them about living here?
Don't believe everything you hear in the news. There is something happening here. There is danger for the people that are living here right now based on the way they're handling the immigration problem. They're allowing these people to come through our neighborhoods, and those of us that are actually living here are the ones that are seeing it on a daily basis. And so, I mean, we know what's going on because we see it.
How do you feel about the American Patriots coming down here and helping?
Oh, I'm very grateful to them. I mean, I've been able to get some sleep lately now that they've been down here, because my son and I have an older son. My son and I would end up taking turns at night, just making sure nobody's in here. And so now we get to sleep. That was a luxury we didn't have before because we had to end up being up all night sometimes.
Well, we have with us also the team leader for Camp Lone Star. That would be Rob.
Hello.
He has a question for you.
I do have a question. Has your family been threatened here by illegal immigrants? Or
Oh, yeah.
How many incidents have you had in the past year?
We've had, in the 5 years that I've been here, I've already had, while we were sleeping inside the house, we've had 2 illegals try to gain entry to the back door of our house while we were sleeping inside. My son happened to be outside with the animals at the time. He saw them, confronted them, and they were, even after he confronted them, they were still calling him names and everything, and like, what the hell? They didn't want to leave because my son told him, you need to leave. What the hell are you doing here? Mm-hmm. And they stood up to him and in a threatening manner, well, like, what the hell, Mm-hmm. So here, now, whenever we're outside, whatever, I mean, we got our weapons on us. Mm-hmm. And my son had to literally draw his rifle for them to leave. Otherwise, they were refusing to leave.
Sure.
So, I mean, I've had another incident where I was feeding my horses in the back area. My 4-year-old was on the other side of the stable with the other animals. And so I was out of sight on the other side. As soon as I came around the corner, I saw one of the illegals walking towards my 4-year-old son. He got to about 20 feet away from him, and he was heading directly to him. When he saw me, he turned around and started heading back. So I followed him. And when he went into the bush here by my property on the side, another one pops out of the grass. And then they both confront me and wanting to, like, what the hell? And what do you mean, what the hell? You're on my property. What the hell were you doing here? What were you doing over there going towards my son? And they stay there and they confront you. These guys aren't afraid. So another incident where I had to draw my weapon too and run them out at gunpoint. Otherwise, they refuse to leave.
Sure.
And that's what goes on.
Have you yourself, or do you know of anyone that has been threatened by any local law enforcement or Border Patrol to not get involved with what's happening down here?
No, I haven't encountered that. And I've been here 5 years, like I said. And as far as threats from law enforcement, no, because the law enforcement agents that are out here, they know what's going on. And I mean, and a lot of these guys are, they're residents. This is where they live. Also, most of them. So they know that if they were in the same situation, if they weren't under the, I guess, policy of their employer, they'd be doing the same thing we're doing, protecting their property.
Right. Yeah, all the encounters we've had have been pretty much the same with Border Patrol and law enforcement. They have been, they're doing their job.
Oh yeah, no, and they
to the best.
As best as they can. Yeah,
I
mean, as best as they're allowed to do it
Mm-hmm.
by their superiors. Yes.
Back to the being threatened on your property. Have you ever had anybody enter any of your buildings here?
Oh yeah, I mean, one day at noon, we were inside the house. My older son, noticed that there were some people coming in, and we came outside. They were running from the street into our property, into a barn, my barn right next to my house. This is at noon, plain daylight. And it was a group of about 30, more or less. They were running into my barn because my barn was open, and they wanted a place to hide because Border Patrol was, I guess, following them from the gate.
Sure.
So, I mean, we come out, and we tell them, hey, get out of here. You're not supposed to be in here. Leave. They didn't want to leave. So, again, drew my rifle, started shooting. They started running. And then I hadn't noticed the ones that were already in my barn. There was about already 20 of them in my barn. They just started running out and going down the street. By that time, Border Patrol surrounded them at the end of the street and got all of the group. That's how I found out how many they were.
Sure. So my next question would be, with the policies that we have in place right now, with the catch and release program, or
Mhm.
so-called catch and release program, why do you think it is that they're trying to run and not being caught instead of just being caught and being released again?
Well, the ones that want to be caught, like the, they've probably heard that they'll get all this type of amnesty and stuff, so they want to get caught. The ones that run that don't want to get caught, those are the ones that have another agenda. And now these guys that were coming in here, like I said, these are full-grown men. I mean, a lot of them look like, I mean, if you ask me, they look like they're coming in for another purpose.
Sure.
So,
And so, I had a chance to speak with a resident from Mexico and ask him about the economy over there and all that. And he was telling me that Mexico has, if you want to find a job in Mexico, or it's just as easy in the United States as it is in Mexico to find a job, that the reason that we have illegals coming into this country is because they don't want to work. And with the policies and the freebies that we have here in this country, they come here to take advantage.
oh yeah.
Do you think he is correct in his opinion?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we see it here every day. They come in. There's even advertisements in the paper that you'll find if you're a Mexican national, they can help you find a home, you know, real cheap. And our own people can't even get finance on homes.
So you say that's in the newspapers here?
Oh yeah, you can see it in Sunday paper and the classifieds. They advertise recruiting national people, Mexican nationals, for all kinds of financing and homes and everything. So I mean,
Wow.
now they come in here. If they have, you know, if they already have family over here on this side, I mean, they give them all kinds of benefits. They give them free medical. They give, I mean, who wouldn't want to be in that situation? I'm a retired firefighter. I'm a disabled, you know, firefighter myself since I got injured on the job back in 2000. I don't get any benefits.
Sure.
You know, Social Security judges keep saying that, oh, well, I'm not disabled enough according to them. I mean, I have my wheelchair inside the house that I have to use when I have to do long walks because I can't walk, that my legs give out on me and everything. So I don't know what they consider disabled enough, but I mean, when I've been to the hearings with the judge for that, I've been in there. There's been other people in there who don't have anything else other than a diabetic condition, and they get
Sure.
and I mean, and that's why I don't understand how they do it. But I mean, a lot of these people that come in from Mexico, they get their permits or whatever, and right away they apply for all the benefits they can get, and they do get them.
So my next question would be, seeing the amount of people that are coming here and the kind of people that are coming here, do you feel that the government has an agenda to have them here? Do you feel like they want them here?
Well, more and more as things happen, more and more it feels that way. I mean, somebody's got a reason to be letting them in. Somebody went and opened the door for that by offering them amnesty just by crossing the river illegally, which, I mean, I know that there's a lot of Mexican nationals that have come in here legally. They've applied for their paperwork legally, and they're still waiting for it, who are upset that these people crossing legally now are being offered the same thing they've had to wait for.
Right.
And I understand. I mean, I would be upset too.
I would, yeah.
Do you know that wait time is now up to almost 20 years?
Yep.
Just wanted to point that out.
Oh yeah.
We've been looking at that also, the fact that it takes almost 20 years for someone to come legally, as to where if they walk across the border and turn themselves into Border Patrol, they got it all.
Oh yeah.
How do you feel about the people that try to come here legally? Do you feel like they're going to contribute to the United States and be good people versus the ones that come and sneak into the country?
Well, I mean, there's a track record already. People that have come in legally, waited their time, become citizens, they've kept a good working record. I mean, they have to if they want to finalize their paperwork. Otherwise, it ends right there. So yeah, I mean, they do contribute, and for the most part, the percentage of people that have gotten in trouble after starting their procedure is very low. And I can tell you that because I would interview these people every morning when I was working for pre-trial services down here in Cameron County. And I'd go every morning, interview everybody that had been in there, and there was a lot of people from Mexico that they were upset because they got into trouble and they had already started their paperwork, and now they weren't going to be able to continue that. So they know what they lose and how much they lose if they get into trouble. So they try to stay out of trouble for the most part. And I mean, if they do it the right way, I don't have a problem with people coming in here legally
Sure.
doing everything legally, I mean, that's why those laws are in place.
Sure.
But when you're offering illegals amnesty and automatic citizenship, that is where I have a problem, because that's not fair for any of these other people or for any of us here, that live here. So.
Sure. And with the open border policy that we have here, do you feel like that opens the doors for other countries to come here as well, like Middle Eastern or Asian?
Definitely. I mean, as soon as they hear they can just walk across without any problem and be given all these benefits and attention, they're going to come.
Should we see that as a threat to our country, as far as with ISIS and everything that we have going on and being threatened?
I mean, right now, I don't know if you've heard this past couple of days, supposedly the law enforcement people all the way from El Paso to down here with us, they're under an alert right now, that they already found out ISIS has people across the border in Ciudad Juarez, and they're just waiting for something to happen between now and 9/11. So I mean, if they already warned their law enforcement people about that, we should be concerned about it too. Yeah. Because the citizens are the ones that are going to suffer if something happens like that, and they do attack someplace. I mean, they're gonna attack a place where civilians are at. So.
Are you aware of any known terrorists being caught coming across the border down here?
I've heard of a few that were caught in the past. Like I said, back like around the 2011, 2012, I did hear of some and I'm pretty sure that there's more. But like I said, those they keep that quiet. They don't want people down here to know that these people are crossing through here, because they don't want to start a panic with the people.
Sure. Which
I understand, they got it, but it does happen. So.
And in your community here, is it? Would you say the majority is Hispanic, or majority is white, or of a different descent?
Here, as far as people living here?
Yeah. Your neighborhood.
My neighborhood here is mostly Hispanic.
And how do they feel about people entering the country illegally here?
Well, I mean, when they have to deal with the same thing I'm dealing with, they don't like it either. But a lot of these people, I mean, they don't like to get involved because of fear that their family might, be threatened, or they themselves might be threatened, and because of the proximity with this border fence and the river and everything. So, I mean, I understand their fear.
Sure.
But I mean, the way I look at it is, this is my home. If I don't stand up to these people, sooner or later they're going to want to take over.
Sure.
So I'm not willing to let anybody take over.
So would you say it is a race issue or not? Because we're hearing on the mainstream media that anybody who doesn't want the open border and the amnesty is a racist. Do you think that has anything to do with it, or do you think that's just to shut people up?
It doesn't have anything to do with racism. I mean, it has to do with a way of life and safety for our families. I mean, I've been speaking up. I've been here 5 years, and I've been trying to, get a grip on the situation myself. And I have had some people say, you just don't like these illegals coming through. You don't like Mexicans. I go, dude, I'm Hispanic. I might not have, people in Mexico family, but we're all, from Texas. But that doesn't make me a racist. I mean, I talk to these people, as long as they're not threatening my family and my, safety in my own home, I don't have a problem with them,
Sure.
I mean, do things the right way, like every citizen is expected to follow the laws. They should fall under the same rule. Follow the laws, do it legally, and I don't have a problem with you.
So, basically, what you're saying is do it legally, and we welcome you in.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
I don't have a problem with that.
And I think most Americans do feel that way,
yes.
And it's sad to see it being painted.
I have another question for you. Rob touched on the racism thing. Do you feel any form of racism over what's going on towards you and your family? Like maybe you're not getting as much help as what you should be getting?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, the feelings that I have is mainly disappointment that our own government is not giving us the help that we need because they have another agenda. For some reason, they decided to offer these people more help than they offer their own citizens. I mean, I'm pretty sure somewhere down the line, somebody's, other than the illegals coming through, are benefiting from it. But, you know, I mean, that's just what upsets me, that we have people here, our own citizens, that don't have the budget to buy their food or make their payments every month, and they're not getting the help they need, but yet they're turning around and sending all this money and all this help to these people who are coming in illegally. And to me, that's what upsets me. And I'm not going to say it's a racism issue, because it's not just Hispanic citizens that are suffering. I mean, we have people that are citizens from all different nationalities that are in the same situation right now. So,
or even the vets waiting to get an appointment.
Exactly. I mean, our vets that have been over there overseas, they come back, they can't even get an appointment. These people cross the border and they get all the medical they need. So,
do you ever feel like, whose freedom were they fighting for?
Exactly. I mean, I do.
Our freedom, or the ones coming across illegally? Because I kind of feel like that way.
Yeah, and I mean, and I understand when I talk to vets myself and they're all upset. I understand their anger.
Right, because they went and put their life on the line to fight for our freedom, yet the people coming into our country have more freedoms than what we do.
Yeah, their own government has no gratitude for them, and it's showing them nothing but disrespect. So yes, I understand their frustration and their anger. I mean, you know, that's all you got to do is look at the facts and what's going on.
I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me. I'm going to flip my camera back around. So everybody, this is Barbie, and I'm down here by the border in Texas. I'm not going to tell you where. Have a great day. We'll be back.